favorite things to hear. Man, this is kind of like every show. It's not here. And we're talking everywhere. Well, it's kind of the downtime. I'm like, that's because you're a gimp and you're weak. Okay? That's because you're a gimp and you're weak. And you don't know how to do a show like yours truly. All right. By the way, my young grasshopper is killing it because he's now taking that same baton. He's not doing days off. Okay? He's not. He's learning how to do this thing, and he's doing it very well. By the way, make sure you check out Birds 365. And without further ado, with the voice coming back, by Monday, I'll be rocking. I'll be rocking. And we'll be 4 weeks out from that bitch starting up on July 21st. It is my boy, and I am proud to bring him in because he takes no days off, too. Big Z, Zander Krause.
What up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
How you doing, Junior?
It's a Football Friday live from the porch.
I come up with them all, don't I?
Yes, you do, my friend. Yes, you do, my friend.
All right, let me ask you. I really did. I started it off because that unfortunate situation that's going on with Antonio Brown. I mean, Antonio Brown's numbers are stupid.
So what's going on there? By the way, I didn't really read the full story.
He's being charged with attempted murder.
So he said he got robbed or something, and then what happened? He picked the gun up or something and fired it at him?
And aimed at somebody, and now there's a warrant for his arrest. And they're now here's a guy. When you look at his numbers, I mean, Zander, over 130 catches, 1,800 yards. I mean, he's got Canton numbers. I mean, there's nobody in contemporary football right now.
He was one of the most fun players to watch ever when he was in his prime. He was unbelievable. But I don't know. I mean,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I know you were comparing it to A.J. Brown, and it's a tough thing to do, obviously, because I think both of them are amazing players. Like, I don't want to say
absolutely
a good thing about A.J. to disparage. I mean, obviously, Antonio Brown was what he was, but I do think A.J. Brown is one guy that you could say, I think he probably would have had similar success in that offense in that time with Ben Roethlisberger during that era of football. Like, again, not taking away from Antonio, he certainly has a better resume right now, but I think A.J. Brown is one guy I would say, I think he's got that level of upside for sure.
Well, and you're right. A.J., the majority of his career, do you agree, has played in a run-dominant offense?
For sure. I mean, I don't think that's an opinion at all.
Only not from last year and then the previous two when he got here. Will we not say 22 and 23 were pass?
They were, but they were still a running identity football team. Like, remember 22 when Jalen was super successful. Why was Jalen so successful in 22? Who remembers? It was RPO. The RPO. And that team was kind of built around a run. It looked different for sure, but it was still built around the run. It wasn't like one of these modern football pass-happy offenses where quarterbacks are throwing 45, 46, 47, sometimes 5,000 yards. So I think it's much different, but he definitely has been in a run-heavy offense much of his career.
He thinks he had a better career. And like you said, AJ's got a lot more work to do. I mean, he does. And he's been in 6 years, there's no doubt.
Right.
When you look at Mike Evans, what do you make of Mike Evans' career? 11 straight years of consistency of being over 1,000 yards. He's got 105 receptions. Now, again, you got to remember, this is 11 years versus 6. So we're still waiting to see how this is going to unfold. Now, before I even ask you to answer do you believe that A.J. Brown retires an Eagle?
Retires an Eagle? Oof. My optimistic me says yes. My realistic me says no chance. But okay. I do think that he has embraced this city, and the city rightfully has embraced him back. And I think even with the problems that he brings up, like you have a problem with your brother or your best friend, or me and you have a problem, it's based out of love. It's not, I don't think it's I'm upset here and I'm going to
It's
run.
not malice intent.
Right. Exactly. I think I do think he loves it here. And I think if the business of it adds up, which it might not, let's be real, the guy's a very highly paid wide receiver. I'd like to say he would finish here, but that's very optimistic.
I think these wideouts, man, they look at like where they are and what he's got his ring now. I'm not saying he doesn't want more, but I made a comment to you about Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman's got 3 Super Bowl rings. He's the all-time Super Bowl receiver, and he's got a Super Bowl MVP. It's not going to get you to Canton because of the numbers that he doesn't have during the regular season. No Pro Bowls, none of that. He's not going, even though he's been a great player. These receivers are based on accomplishments. Do you think he gets that in a run-first offense here in Philly? And will he embrace it for another year when you know that, again, now I will give you guys, and I'll concede this, he missed a boatload of games. Would he have been probably around 1,300 yards? I don't know that. You know why? Because they were running the ball a ton.
Yeah, but isn't there another way to look at this where AJ's in such a good spot where his down years are 1,000 yards and he missed 4 games? Like, he hasn't had under 1,000 yards. Just to bring it back to the Mike Evans commentary, and this isn't to take away from Mike Evans. I think what he's done across 11 years is nothing short of amazing. But we talk about 11 straight 1,000-yard years. Well, AJ's had 1,000 yards every year here, and let's be real, last year was the worst of those years, and for him statistically, and he still was over 1,000. So it's like if his up years are 14, 15, 1,600. And his down years are 1,000, it's like, haven't we gotten greedy? You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty damn good. Now, the modern game has changed. Obviously, 1,000 yards at 1,200, it's like the new 1,000. You could even say 1,300 to the new 1,000. But I still think it's impressive what he's doing here. Like, I don't think it's as bad as like maybe we might make it seem when AJ
I don't think it's bad at all.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad at all. But let's put this into context here too. Okay, I mean, he is in a run-first offense. He's not in. And if you look at that I have Jason Cole. I'm going to ask Cole this question. If he looks at right now A.J. Brown in the same light as a Mike Evans player and again, it's hard because Mike got more resume.
Doesn't Mike represent, though, like what was Mike's? Do you have his stats up? What was his, like, most yards ever in a year?
15-24. 15-24.
15-24. So, like, that was his top. AJ did that 2 years in a row. Mike, and then again, this is not at all not a compliment, but he's like that. You know how some guys just like they're your steady Eddie guys, right? Like, he's going to be there. He's going to get his 1,000 yards, but he doesn't give you a 2,000 yard upside or anything like that. He's more floats around 1,200 yards is probably his average.
Yeah, like that 1,100.
I do think AJ has more like of an upside as a player, where I think if AJ got the ball more, he could be an explosive 2,000-yard back like Jamar Chase was last year. I truly believe AJ has that. I don't know if Mike has that type of talent because he's a bigger dude. He's a little slower.
I don't know Mike's an explosive player like
that.
He's
not. He's more of a great hands, great catch radius, a steady, consistent, reliable player. AJ is that, but he also has the upside, I think.
He's kind of like a Hopkins, right? Like a DeAndre Hopkins kind of guy.
I think he's a little more physical than that, a little bit more imposing than that.
That's right, especially in the red zone.
Maybe a combo of DeAndre and Mike Evans. It might be a good way to go with it. He kind of reminds me. A player he reminds me of a little bit. And he's much better than this player, but like an Anquan Bolden. You remember like the way he
played for the Ravens.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe something like that. Maybe a little fusion of that with a DeAndre, with a little Mike Evans. I don't know. I think AJ's got a lot of different players that he resembles.
Yeah, no, I look. I'm just going to wonder how he feels about now. If you looked at it from 30,000 feet, say you're one of these voters. And by the way, I can't wait to get Jason and ask him this, how he sees AJ Brown, because again, I was talking about Mike Evans this morning. And Mike was talking to Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is the greatest wide receiver in the history of the sport. And Zander, the guy's over 20,000 yards, and he's got 200 touchdowns receiving. There's nobody close to those numbers.
It's unbelievable, his numbers.
I mean, and think of this. He probably touched the ball 4 times a game. And he had 200 TDs.
That's unbelievable, dude.
How now it did help he had Young in Montana. There's no doubt that he had those players, but let me put this out there to you with him. So, do you think he's going to have a problem with the approach this year, AJ?
Well, I do think, don't you think it naturally does come up a little bit, the passing game this year?
Yeah, but how? Where do you see improvement?
Well, I'll tell you where. He missed 4 games last year. If we just assume he plays if he just plays every game and they have the same offense, the dude's still going to shit.
Health, lack of sacks.
And he's still going to shit out 1,300 yards. I don't think there's a real issue. Is kind of my original point. Like, you're always going to want more, especially when you're a great player. But I don't think the truth of the matter is that there's as tangible of a problem as even AJ made it seem like when he read the book and said we have a problem in the passing game. Like, you got 1,000 yards and you missed 4 games. Like, yeah, what are we doing here?
Let me go on the other end of that. So how many games did he miss?
4.
How many games did Devonta miss?
3? I think 3 or 2.
7 games those guys weren't on the field, and they still won the Super Bowl in dominating fashion. If I'm the Eagles, how important are those guys on the field? Now,
yeah.
I do know. Wait, I know they are. I know.
Yeah,
I know
what were the worst games
AJ
of the year? Right.
What
were the worst games of the year? You know.
Okay, 7 games they weren't on the field, and they beat the piss out of people.
Yeah, but the worst games of the year were the games that those guys were out.
After the bye, they didn't lose a game when Hurts was in the full
game.
Yeah,
but 3 of the games AJ missed were pre-bye week. His 4th game was week 18 that everybody sat out. So week 18 is kind of a wash, let's be real. And then I think Devonta missed the Tampa game, and I think maybe
both of them were out. I thought
both of them were out. I know both of them missed. Yeah, both of them missed the Tampa game. I think Devonta might have missed 2 games before the bye, and that was the ugliest part of the year.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, yeah, I
don't remember what other game Devonta missed. Maybe the Steelers game?
Missed the Carolina game.
Carolina game, maybe.
I mean, was it later in the year?
I don't know. I'd have to go and look. But no, your point is still correct. You know, we dominated everybody after the bye week, whether you guys were getting the ball or not.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, because that's why when people keep going, and you're right, health and Hurts maybe not taking sacks. That's how you improve, because that's field position, right?
Right.
Awesome. That's cleanup, right? Do you not agree?
Yeah.
You don't even have to really throw the ball more.
Yeah.
Because then you're talking about plus yardage. That improves the pass game anyway, right?
Nope. Absolutely. Yep.
All right. So let me go here. I wrote these numbers down for you. You tell me what you think. We kind of did this a little bit the other day, and I wanted to get your thoughts here. So this is what I said. And you're right. I had to add them up, Zander. I couldn't just throw gratuitous numbers out.
All right.
So I got Hurts at 3,500 yards, 25 TD passes, 650 rushing, 12 tush-push, 12 red zone.
You got a good season for Hurts.
And 67 completion percentage.
I'm perfect with that season. I don't need anything more than that. How do you feel about that season? If he does that,
I think he's capable of doing that. I think you're going to.
And if he does it, though, do you think that's a good season?
Yes, I do, because I'm going to show you where he compensated, where you say they're going to improve a little bit. AJ, I got him at 1,400 yards, 85 receptions, and 10 touchdowns. Sound right?
85's a little good. I'd like to see the 85 go up a little bit, but I think you're very realistic with where it's probably going to be. 85. How many touchdowns? 8? 10. That's good. I like that.
And well, it's got to add up, like you said. You know.
Yeah. And I think they, you know, I think the AJ Brown conversation also has some true sills too. Bro, just get AJ Brown the ball more. Like, he might sound like a whiner, but dude, that guy is an unbelievable football player. Yep. Like, would the Dallas Cowboys not wanting to get Michael Irvin or Emmitt Smith the ball? I know you have Saquon, but you also have AJ Brown. Get him the football, and they know that. But I think they're going to try and get him the ball to make sure they get him the ball this year, because good things happen when he has the ball.
Because of the run first, I've got Devonta at 80 catches, 950 receptions, 950 reception yards, and 8 touchdowns.
950. I want to see him get. I want to see over 1,000 this year for Smitty, but I'm okay with that.
Goddard, I got 700.
Ooh, good year for Goddard.
Because, hey, he's auditioning.
Right.
For the Eagles and for other people, right?
But he's still not in control, man. Hurts got to throw him that ball.
56 catches and 6 touchdowns. That adds up to the 25 TDs. Right there with those 3 men alone.
Wow.
Okay? Barkley, and here's the additional 290 yards. I got Barkley at 1,600 rushing. 12 touchdowns. Still averaging 6 a carry. 290 yards receiving.
That's good.
That's
What were your rushing yards?
1,600.
Okay, that's about where I'm thinking this year too.
Well, because I upped Hurts' pass numbers.
Yeah, and that's where I think too. I just don't think he's going to be able to run for 2,000 again, to no fault of his own. You know, I think teams are going to do everything they can to take him out of the game because he's that good. And I think 1,600 is a good number. In fact, 1,600 might be impressive. If defense is playing the way I think they're going to play them, it's going to be impressive.
I don't remember anybody after a 2K season going that high.
Yeah. Well, who did Terrell Davis get close again?
I thought he did like 1,400, something like that.
I'd have to go and look. That's a good thing to go and look at.
Okay, here's my defensive guys. I got Jalen Hunt at 11.5 sacks.
Whoa. You have a bigger jump than Jalen Carter had year 2.
I got Jalen Hunt 11.5. And yes,
all right,
I'll eat crow on the pick.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's not really eating crow. The guy was a developmental player.
Bro, I thought he was going to be ready 2-3 years from now.
That pick is, I don't really think you need to eat crow in that pick. But I will say this. I don't have my notebook out here, but remember when we did our bold predictions, which I brought up recently, you had in your predictions that Jalen Hunt would have more sacks than Nolan Smith, which I used today, by the way, on Birds. But you had 6.5. So you're growing in optimism on Jalen Hunt, Big Sills.
I am.
Yeah, good to see. Good to see.
Yeah. The more I hear Vic talk about him, Vic makes me have more confidence in him.
Yep,
That
I
guy's
agree.
not just going to throw people out there like that.
I know.
If you notice what he does, every single time that he talks about the edge rushers, he talks about Jalen Hunt first. He goes, we got Hunt out there, and we got Nolan. Nolan, who we really like. Kid Hunt, he brings him up all the time.
Right.
Always look at the chronological order how Vic talks about somebody. Then you'll know who he's thinking about at the top of his mind and who he's watching on film more. Zander, when I watch a game or I watch game film, and coaches who watch game film, you know what happens to them? They condition their own minds. You know how they condition it? When I'm watching Jalen Hurts and I'm watching and he's playing, going through plays, and you're cutting up film and you're looking at grades, you're looking at what he did and not. The reason that you bring up Hurts' name all the time is because you're conditioned, because you're seeing him on film and you're gauging him. The guys that you see on film all the time, that's why, remember, you did something that was so smart. When I heard him say Tristan McCullum, I know Tristan McCullum was in the conversation to win that safety job.
Yeah. Well,
he just doesn't put that dude in there just because.
Well, to your credit, Sills, you've been on that well before he said it this offseason. You didn't need to hear it this offseason. You said, I watched them use him in the games last year. Okay. Yep. I think he's in the play. And I think you were right. That's a credit to you being around the game for a long time, obviously understanding defensive coaches. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, I think Vic is giving a lot of optimism, honestly, on a lot of players, Sills. Like, I feel like Vic is giving me optimism on Trotter. Vic is giving me optimism, as you point out, on Jalix. Vic is giving me optimism on Keely Ringo.
You know what? I'm going to say this about Trotter. You know why I think he likes Trotter? What do you think the number one thing?
Instinct.
I think it's beyond that. Okay. I think he knows where to line up. I think he has a savant for the game, and he knows
football IQ.
The football IQ shit. Like when he sees splits, he probably for Vic to say and have that kind of confidence in him. he must look at the splits and he must see him cheating, sliding. If you see wide splits, what are they trying to do? Move up, trying to run the ball inside on you.
Right.
That's from his pop, schooling him and giving him the understanding. When you do tight splits, what are they trying to do? Trying to get out wide on you. And I see him, when you watch him, especially when the Eagles point that and put that film out, you see him move out a little bit. I think he likes that kid's IQ.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows what he's doing.
It's a good take. You couple that with the right instinct, you can make up for any lack of athleticism or speed or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's Zach Bond. I got 145 tackles. I got 4 sacks. Oh, 4 picks, 5 sacks.
4 picks. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you think Zach Bond's gonna have another big year, huh?
I think they have to have. He has to play like that with so many young guys up there.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong about that. He certainly is going to have a good year. I mean, especially with the money we paid him and with the law. Part of the losses on defense are a result of choosing to pay him. So if he doesn't play, if he doesn't have a great year, you're basically another loss on defense. So, he's going to have to play really good this year, which I think he will.
I think you're going to be shocked with this one. I got Cooper DeJean leading the NFL in picks.
Yeah, I heard you say that. And I can see why you would say that. I guess
you know why? Because he's going to be in multiple positions.
Yeah, and he's such a hawk for the ball. I mean, he really does have a good knack for where the ball is going and where it's going to be. It's one of his best traits. We're reason he picked off Mahomes. I mean, he played that play perfectly. So I don't hate it. That's you got some lofties in here though, my friend.
Well, the reason I'm doing that is because, if I got him in base and safety, then I got him in nickel on third down, then I got him in dime, and I might even put him out corner. I mean, dude, the opportunities for him to get more picks, just common sense would tell you, because he's in more positions to have more opportunities.
Right. Nope, I agree.
I mean, okay. So here's Jalen Carter. I got 8.5. 8.5 sacks.
Jalen Carter, I think that's fine. I don't think Jalen Carter is ever going to be like a sack artist type of player. Like even Dexter Lawrence is more of a
bro. I think 8.5 is great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that's fine. I mean, honestly, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. I want him to wreck games more than I want him to sack the quarterback. I mean, Sills, here's the other thing you got to remember too, and maybe this is just for me. I don't speak for all Philly fans, but I will speak for me. My perception on what's required on defense has shifted based on what we just saw, right? Like I watched 22 where the sacks are the fun things on defense, where that's what you want. That's what, the sack guys are paid the most. That's what, people celebrate on social media is the sacks. And I watched 4 guys have double digits that year. And then I watched the defense fold in the biggest moment versus last year. We had an 8.5 sack guy as our leading guy. Nobody really exploded off the page, but the defense worked together better than they ever have. And they suffocated one of the best quarterbacks and offensive minds in football in the Super Bowl. Like that jaded what I desire in a defensive lineman and really an overall defense.
Let me ask you a buck question. You think Hassan Reddick has to reestablish his reputation? I said he did.
Reputation as a player, as a pass rusher, as a what?
As a person you can rely on.
Yeah, I think for sure. When's the last time he did something really good?
Philly.
22? No, 23,
okay.
He had a good year. He had a good year in 23.
It started because he had a cast on.
Right. So it started a little slow. But, dude, a year off in the NFL world is an eternity. And remember, there was a lot of publicity around his name. It wasn't a quiet year off.
No.
It was a year off of I'm holding out, I'm this, I'm samurai swords and Fugazi, all sorts of bullshit. And then you don't play, you get 1 sack when you do play. So you're right. I think he's got to prove himself.
I took a lot of shit for that. I said, this guy's reputation to me, you walk into a building and you're Johnny Kung Fu and you got like your slippers on and your fucking umbrella and you're trying to tell me, and you got $14 million for a sack and a half. He had a sack and a half.
Right.
And I said, when you walk into the building, I mean, you're not Myles Garrett, dude. You got to roll into that building. You got to earn your reputation back. I got 2.5 sacks for Cupcake.
Who's Cupcake?
Who do you think? Why? I don't even really have to say his name. I got Cupcake.
Boy,
Come on, Cupcake.
If he's Cupcake, you're like an industrial pound cake. Are you kidding
Hey,
me, my
okay,
friend?
hey, I get it at 60. I am. This guy's
Right.
23.
That was a
This
low
guy's
blow. I'm not
23.
going there.
Hey, and he get this. This guy's 23, and he's an upside down cake. Yeah.
That was a
Come
low
on,
blow
man.
by me. I apologize for my low blow.
Yes.
Yeah, 2.5. I think that's probably right. I mean, what do you want from the guy? You know, do you want him to be a free? What do you want him to be, Sileo?
I just want him.
What does he need to do to get your approval?
I want him to be in shape every game. Just show up in shape. Lay out. The Wawa has the shittiest pizza.
His best games of the year last year were in the playoffs.
Oh my God, cutting up a season just to make it sound good.
Well, no,
okay?
but that's a testament to his conditioning. It was certainly.
And then his coach ripped him, and then his coach ripped him. How come he wasn't in shape in the first 15? He goes, I'm going to pass on that one.
Listen, Jordan Davis is on the Peloton now, Sileo.
Oh,
fear not, the Peloton is here to save the day.
Hey, Mrs. Krause, I know you watched the show, and I know you're going to be making some good grub this weekend for Father's Day. Always remember this. Big Sills will be completely out of shape at your dinner table, man. I'll be scooping that stuff up there. So, hey, I do have a question on Devonta.
My mom could open a restaurant tomorrow. She'd be sold out night one. Yeah.
My grandma was like the Betty Crocker of Guinea old ladies.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Would have been. Oh, my God.
My mom makes her own bread dough still. She does all her own starters, sourdough, focaccia, everything, man. She does everything start to finish. And let me tell you, I'm spoiled because of it now, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I go around like it's funny though. I'll be around my girlfriend's family. If they're listening, it's all love. It's not. They might be listening. I'm not sure, but they look at me and it's like, man, I'm used to being served by my Italian mother, the finest of meals, and that'll change a man. All right, that'll change a man.
So I got a question about your boy Devonta. What pick was he picked again? I forget.
10th overall, Sileo.
10th overall pick. What year was that? 21?
Yeah.
20. Wow. Let me think about that. So 2021. You spent the 10th pick on the draft for a wide receiver. Why in the world do you think Howie felt compelled to go get a number one? If you drafted a guy in 21, so did you draft Devonta Smith to be a number 2? Or what? I'm kind of confused here a little bit here. I mean, after record-setting rookie year.
Wait a second. Sileo, don't do this.
Wait, I'm asking a question.
Wait a second. You
had to trade a first-round pick the following year.
No.
For number one.
I'm saving you. I'm being a good producer.
I'm asking a question.
I'm saving you. You've had a Shohei Ohtani offseason so far. You're batting 3 for 10.
Hold
all right?
on.
It's record setting for you. Don't tell me that Devonta Smith was a shitty draft pick.
I'm not saying that.
Don't do it.
I didn't say that. You're filling the blank in. I asked you.
Oh, I'm filling the blank in based on 5 years of religious listening to the great Big Sills.
Oh, wait. So you wasted.
Something tells me I'm right.
Wait, 10th pick in the draft. Not wasted. 10th pick. Wow. Top 10 pick. So then the next year, Howard Roseman and Associates goes, I think I need to trade a number one away for a number one so that I can make the guy I drafted number 10 a 2 so that I can get the guy from Tennessee to make him a 1. Why in the world would he trade a first-round pick away for A.J. Brown if he felt that guy was going to be a number 1? He obviously never felt Devonta Smith was going to be a number 1.
Yeah, look at Kyle, man. Kyle is so fun. Zander, you've been demoted to Little Z. That's because Kyle's the most Sileo-ized person I've ever met in my
Kyle,
life.
I love you, baby.
Kyle,
wait a
wake
minute.
up. Kyle, wake up. Boo. Boo, Kyle. Wake
Hey.
up, Kyle.
Why in the world why did they demote him to a 2?
What do you mean demote him?
Yeah, he gets less targets. He's not the 1. He's the Z. The
Well,
Y is the number 1. Oh, wait. The Y is the 2. The Z is the 1.
They built a tandem of a 1A and a 1B is
1A
really
and
what
1B.
they did. Yeah, and they got 2 receivers that, it was a little bit of an overcorrection to their mistakes at receiver. You remember before Devonta Smith, we were in wide receiver hell. All right, so Howie went and nailed the draft pick and then doubled up. And, to his credit, it certainly made up for some of the misses that we had there previously. And the thing I push back on is, are we worried about the semantics of where Devonta is on the roster, or are we looking at what they did worked? Because the offense that they built, as you mentioned earlier in this segment, just dominated their way to a Super Bowl. I mean, you sound like Kyle Kokorski.
So wait. I mean, so you're telling me then that the wide receivers that they drafted and traded for, both number 1 draft picks involved in it, first round picks were involved in it. You think that wasn't a demotion to Devontae?
It wasn't a demotion. It was an acquisition.
By making him the second option at wideout.
It was an acquisition.
Okay, wait. Is Devonta Smith the second option in the passing game?
Absolutely.
That's a 2.
Yeah, I didn't say he wasn't a 2. He's a 1B.
Okay, so he's been demoted.
He's a 1B.
He's a 1. Look, he's a 1B. Oh,
he is. That's what he is.
He's a 1B. All right. Yeah.
How many teams in the league would Devonta Smith be a number 1 wideout on?
Oh, geez.
How many teams in the league would he be a number 1 wideout on?
If he was on like Joe Burrow's team.
No. Why Joe Burrow's team? That team also has 2.
Let's see here. Oh, T. Higgins is a 1?
Well, they got 2 good receivers. How much are they paying him? More than they're paying Devonta. Mr. Moneybag statistician Sileo over there. That's all you care about.
Accomplishment. Oh, money? I do care about money.
I know you do.
Like you don't. Hey, look at this guy pretending over here. What are you talking about?
But I'm not pretending I don't.
How can you?
It's not the only way to judge a receiver, though.
How can? But that's how diva receivers look at it. You know that.
Wait a second.
Look at paychecks.
Did the way that the Eagles built the roster, the offense, did it work?
When they got Barkley, yeah.
So what's your gripe?
I was just asking why you wasted a number 1.
No.
And then the following year, you felt you had to trade for another wideout.
How can you utter the word waste when we won a Super Bowl?
But I've never seen a wide receiver 1 year drafted 10th overall, and that team felt compelled to trade a number 1 wideout, or a number 1 pick away.
Is that your choice of
get
word?
Another one.
You went from Shohei Ohtani to Brandon Marsh in one segment.
What was that pick that you traded for Devontae or for AJ?
18 overall.
Okay, so you felt 1 year, hey, we're going to put the 10th pick up. Next year, I'm going to put the 18th pick up because I want a better guy or a better option. You think that sounds normal?
That's not what they did. They built
it's
their
totally
team.
what they did. It's what they're doing.
But they built their team.
The passing game goes through AJ, not Devontae.
Wait a second, Sileo. Let me ask you a question, man. You got a great right tackle, right? You got Lane Johnson. Do you just stop there? I don't want a good right guard. I have a good right tackle. I got a great left tackle. I don't need a good left guard.
You got that one guy in the 7th round at the other end.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you don't stop acquiring good players because you acquired a good player the year before.
The 7th rounder versus a 5th pick in the draft, that's a different way of looking at how you built that. You didn't know Mulata was going to be.
That's not a perfect scenario.
It's totally not. Because one guy was not a big draft pick. The point
is you spend assets to improve the position on the field. Wide receiver 2 starts every play.
The 10th player in the draft, and then the following freaking year you go,
You say, but you say
I
this like,
need a little more.
You say this though, like he's riding time.
No, I'm asking why they did that.
What do you mean? Because it improved the starting position on your offense.
Because they went to the guy to create the offense and passing game through AJ, not Devonta.
Well, AJ's a better player.
Okay. In consecutive years, you used the 10th pick and the 17th pick to do that.
So, all right. So again,
in consecutive years, name me. That would be like the
let's
Giants.
Bring it home. Wait.
That would be like the Giants doing this. Hey, Malik, you're really good, and I'm going to get that McMullen kid or whatever.
Oh yeah, because that Giants receiving core is certainly something to strive for.
But
the way the New York Giants have built that
the Giants
squad,
are trying to build the passing game through Malik Neighbors.
I don't know. Why did the Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown and they drafted Jameson Williams?
They got him in the 3rd round.
Jameson Williams? No, they didn't. He was a first-round pick.
Amon St. Brown's a 3rd rounder.
Oh, Amon-Ra St. He is, because he's a shrimp. He's like 5'4".
He is. I'm just curious. The 10th pick in the draft.
Let's bring it around town.
No doubt.
I
felt I had to upgrade my wide receiving core the next year. All right.
So the 10th overall pick was a waste, says Dan Sileo.
I never said that.
After 2 Super Bowl appearances, a catch in the Super Bowl, a Super Bowl ring.
I got the 10th pick in the draft, and then the following year I go, hey, you know what? Shit, let's go trade for AJ and run the offensive passing game through him and not him. Oh, okay.
Wait a second.
I find that wild.
The irony in this is just superb. Sileo literally brought up the New York Football Giants as an example of the alternative.
Because the Giants are trying to build the passing game through Malik Neighbors.
That shows you,
and that's exactly what the Eagles are trying to do.
They made the right decision.
They were trying to build the passing game when they initially drafted him 10th overall. When they saw that wasn't going to cut it, the next year they traded for AJ.
They went to the playoffs, Devonta's first year. He had 1,000 yards.
Okay, he got destroyed. And the guy went, I need a playmaker out there.
So they built the roster better.
Okay, they demoted the fucking guy to the 2nd option.
Who gives a shit? They improved the team.
Okay, that's the point. The guy was not initially the 10th pick. I've never seen a team draft a guy with a top 10 pick, go back into the draft the next year, and get another guy because they weren't completely happy with the guy they drafted at 10.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying hey, man. Yeah.
What is the take? Don't sit on the fence. What is the take, Mr. Sileo?
Take is this. I mean, once again, Devonta Smith, he's expendable.
What is the take? Is that it?
He's expendable.
BS.
Dude, what wide receiver could you ill afford to lose, AJ or Devonta?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, obviously, AJ's the better player. That's been established. I mean, obviously, that's the bigger drop-off if you lose AJ Brown.
Now, wait, let me finish this up, though, with you.
No, my problem is just the complacency mindset that you're having. Sileo, you know what I love you? You know why I love you, Sileo? Because you want greatness. You look at your wide receiver 1 and you say, he's good, but we can get better. Let me pursue that greatness.
Here's one thing that I will say to you, okay, that for me, there's one thing I could say. I didn't think AJ would be this good.
Nobody did. One of John's worst takes of this offseason has been.
Do you think they initially, when they traded for AJ, that they thought that Devonta was going to be the one and that guy just turned out to be because he shocked me. I did not think he was that good.
Nobody thought he was that good. We thought he was good, but to sit here and act like he was a top 10 wide receiver the NFL, let alone top 5, is insane.
No way.
That was John. Like John's like, we talked about this on Birds 365 a little bit ago, and John's like, oh, to make the statement that AJ wasn't a great receiver, he had X amount of yards his first couple of years. I'm like, John, he was nowhere close to being talked about like he is now when he was in Tennessee. Not even in the same ballpark. People across the league are talking about him as a top 5 receiver now. He put on an Eagles jersey for that to happen. Not before that. I mean, come on. I still can't get over your complacency mindset.
Complacency?
Yeah, you get one receiver. Why do you need another one?
No, I was like wondering why you would draft a guy in the first round, and the next year you go, I need to upgrade. It's all right. And you moved the guy to 2. I get, hey, sometimes shit happens. I get it, Junior. Hey, it's what happens, man. It's the difference between Big Sills and Harry Mays. I fucking
that's like comparing an NFL player to a little league to a corner.
Hey, let's get to some of these. Let's get to some of these super chats.
Yeah, we got Jason Cole coming up.
Yep, I'll ask him about this AB stuff.
Rich, what up, Rich? He says, Sills, kick your red slippers together and wish to go back in time and take all that Smitty crap back. Worst take.
Yeah.
Agreed. Really.
So he used the 10th pick in the draft, and now he's out there as a second option. I got it. It's all good.
Wait, this is actually your worst take in 5 years on JAKIB.
This is one of the greatest because this is exactly what you did. You drafted a guy, a lottery pick in the 10th pick. Then the next year you went and got a better player.
What an atrocious take.
What a spectacular on-the-nut take.
Ben Dover. AJ Brown, number
That's
1.
Ben, my friend, over, but go ahead.
Smitty, number 17, ranked 24. End this now.
AJ 1, Smitty, number 17. He ain't 17. He's top 13. He's somewhere in there.
He's top 10.
I think Smitty's in the 13s. Like
he's top
right
10.
around that.
He's top 10.
He's top. Who are you taking him? Oh, yeah, I forgot. A number.
He's
the only
number 2 on a run-happy offense, and he's still putting up 1,000 yards.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Put him in any other offense in the league, and the guy's getting 1,500 yards.
That guy is not a top 10 wideout.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, he is.
Okay.
Dank Bird Gang says, Sileo, you're so damn dense. Smith had 96 receptions in 22 with AJ on the other team, which was the record I was talking about, dummy.
Congratulations. And then the next year they went and traded for AJ.
No. That was the year they traded for AJ with AJ.
Yeah, and AJ had what, 1,500 yards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
and
like
who was the number one option? Who was the number one? Hey, Dingleberry gang, you tell me. I mean, who was the number one option on that 22 team? It wasn't that guy over there had a goose egg in the Detroit game.
Call them the Super Bowl duo, everybody. Two Super Bowl appearances with this duo.
Dingleberry gang, that ain't a good take. Go ahead.
Chris Scott checking in. D. Smith was drafted to be the number 1 wide receiver, but Howie saw an opportunity to get A.J. Brown, and he did. He wanted to have a high-powered offense. Because he pursues greatness, Chris. Unlike Sileo, who wants you to be stuck in quicksand.
Hey, absolutely. When I see a mistake, I move off of Jalen Reagor, and I go get A.J., and I move Smitty to 2. What a fucking home run take.
Kyle Kokorski says, Jordan Davis, a.k.a. Private Pile, has just one job to do, stay in shape. How hard is that?
He called him Gomer Pyle. Come on, Kyle.
This dude, Kyle Kokorski's drinking a milkshake, eating a bag of Funyuns on his fucking couch, talking about Jordan Davis. Yo, Kyle, sit down and shut the fuck up.
Hey, Kyle, you make sure you have a tremendous weekend, man. You're one of my favorite people.
Kyle's on his 14th bag of Funyuns of the week.
Fun. That's funny as shit, man. What do we got here?
Let's see if we got some more. Dank again. Trotter Jr. reminds me of a smaller version of Edwards. Yeah, that's a great comp.
Yeah, that's a great comp. You know what, though? Hey, Dank, that's a great take. So you're back to Dank. So I'll say this to you. I think he's probably going to be a little bit better in pursuit, too. I do.
I still can't get over that. I still can't get over Kyle Kokorski. Kyle, I can smell you from here, dude. Kyle, I can smell your stench from here. Get in the shower, Kyle. Kimberly says, my dad is my hero. Happy Father's Day, my peeps. That's a great take. That's a great comment.
Very good.
Happy Father's Day to you, Sileo. I know you're a father of a beautiful daughter.
Hey, you make sure you tell your pop that, too.
I will. Absolutely. Flag on the play. That's not a bucket hat. That's true. Shit, man. Yo, Prince, I might need to start a super chat fund for the bucket hats, man. They're like 80 a pop, dog. I'm like tapped out. I haven't bought a new one in a minute, bro.
Shit, Prince. Seriously, I guarantee you, Prince is a guy that sits in a shitter watching this show. And he sits around just doing this shit.
Don't start attacking Prince because you had one of the worst Fridays
Prince,
of your life.
I had one of the absolute grand. Hey, no, this sounds normal. I'm going to draft a guy 10th overall. Then the next year, I'm going to go get a better player.
And I'm going to go to 2 Super Bowls and win one of them and win the NFC twice and have top 10 offenses every single year. Yep.
I needed a better guy. AJ's been a better player.
By the way, who's the face of the NFL right now? It's the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's Barkley.
Yeah, well, Barkley's who on the Eagles?
Okay.
Senor, who has had a better NFL career, Tua or Hurts? Hurts, and it is not close.
How do you think Nick Saban feels about it today? You know what I said it the other day.
Decision in the moment.
Okay, so that means that he didn't want to go through and coach him.
Well, no, that's not. I honestly, and I don't believe that. I really don't. I believe that Nick Saban. I truly believe it. I believe Nick Saban knew going into that game that Georgia's defense was so good, there was a chance the only way to beat them was to move the ball through the air. Jalen Hurts had like 20 passing yards in the first half, and he made a decision in the moment to put his backup in to move the ball in the second half. They won the national championship. Tua had 3 touchdown passes in the second half, an overtime touchdown pass to Devonta Smith. And
Hurts never had a shot to win the job back.
Well, he did stay there. They did battle through camp. And remember what happened. Remember what happened there, Sileo, though. I'll say this. Jalen Hurts marked the turning point of when Nick Saban, remember how Saban used to win, right? He had Jake Coker. He had Blake Sims. He had AJ McCarron. It was always running in defense.
Yeah.
And Hurts was kind of the bridge quarterback to when he stepped into having high-powered passing offenses. Then you had Bryce Young. You had Mac Jones, who obviously threw Devonta Smith into a Heisman Trophy. I don't think he views it in a negative way. I think a college coach is doing things differently.
You had how many guys that were first-round draft choices in your room at one time? You had Young. You had, I don't know if Hurts was there, and you had Mac, and you had another guy that was in there. And the difference in college, Zander, I don't have to sit and develop a guy. I'll just put the next best guy in. In the NFL, you don't have a room like that because you're paying people.
Yeah, it's true. Here we go. Rashid says, AJ is not a better player than Antonio, but AJ is better than Evans unless you're comparing 11 years to 6. Rashid, I agree. Antonio was insane, but I think AJ is better than Mike Evans. Mike Evans was never a top 3 receiver in football.
We'll see what kind of career he has at the end. Right now, he's not a Hall of Famer. So
he's close.
For me. He's not close. I'll ask a Hall of Fame voter here in about 6 minutes.
Kyle Kokorski. Hurts going to pass for 2,000 yards.
Hey, if that's the case, Barkley went for 3.
This dude Kokorski. Kokorski, your head is so far up your ass, you can't tell your ass from your ball sack. Come on, man.
Hey, Kyle, are you suggesting that he's going to throw for $2,000 and 12 TD passes? How you doing? Oh, my God, that would be insane. He's not going to throw for $2,000 unless he gets hurt, which I'm hoping not.
What, $2,000 before the bye week? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, $2,000 before the bye week. He's lucky if he'll have 200 before the bye week.
Shut up, Super Bowl MVP of the year. Could you imagine AJ with Burrow? Don't hate me. No, I think that's fair. I think that's correct. AJ with Burrow would
have 1,800 yards every year.
2,000. AJ with Burrow would be. Sileo would never bring up the shitty topics he had today ever in his life.
Here's Dallas. Ready? Hurts has 140 yards. Let's see, 145 yards. Dallas. KC probably has 200 yards. Ramsey has probably another 90. And the Bucks, he has probably 115. So let's see, he may not even have 500 yards by the time he gets to the Bucks game.
Oh man. Here we
How
go.
many Goose Egg games will Devontae have as a number
Lamar
one?
Davis. Lamar's been red hot recently. He says, Sills, are you high? Respect the 6.
Ah.
Sileo might be high. You know, I don't know. He had like sniffles.
Nah.
Maybe he hit the weed store in Cali.
No,
to
I
help
probably
him out.
hit this thing too much because I put too much vapor up my nose.
Yeah,
And so it gives me like a funny feeling that makes my toes wiggle.
Yeah,
I wake
I
up
think it's coming through.
Yeah, I don't know. This
Yeah,
stuff
here's
got-
Nate. Nate says Sills did crack this morning, saying
Here
Smitty
it
is
is.
a waste is crazy.
Here's my crack. It's my vapor shit here, man. You take this. Look at this. I'm not even supposed to be. I thought my wife told me it was a roll-on. So I've been like digging in this shit and sticking it up my nose. And I don't know, so maybe I am running a little hot. That was a hot take, though.
Stephen Mosteller. Lamb gonna have to wish Ringo a happy Father's Day. Wait, I heard Sileo has to wish Twiz a happy Father's Day too.
Who's Twiz?
And Prince. Prince is your daddy, Sileo.
Hey, Prince? Are you kidding me? Prince hasn't had a good take since February 9th.
I'll say this though.
Hey.
Since John ducked your show, John, you better text Sileo happy Father's Day on Sunday.
Yeah, make sure Bob don't see you do it though. Man. Hey man, I'll tell you what. Would you put Antonio Brown in the Hall of Fame?
I think he's a Hall of Fame worthy talent.
Would you give him a jacket in jail?
He was a 6th rounder, wasn't he?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Dude, I don't know what it is with the Steelers. That Pickett's kid was a 2, right?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, he was a 2. Shit, Hines Ward wasn't a first rounder.
Sills with the pignorance. What does that mean?
God knows, man. Just another funky word. Okay?
What
Fugazi. Hey, Rich.
Abe
Stupid.
says, Abe, what's up, Abe?
Thank
Member
you.
for 10 months. Thank you, bro. You know I love you, Abe.
Yeah.
AJ became available to be traded for and how we made the move. Don't hate the player, hate the game. The rest of the NFL slept on the best wide receiver in the league. Smitty would be wide receiver 1 on any team. Correct.
Yeah, well, I know he would be, but not on the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's why the following year they traded the first-round pick for a guy who was better, and they made him the backup. Yeah,
Prince. Here's Prince. Not to be confused with Sileo's father. They were ahead of the curve. Why is every team trying to get 2 number 1 wide receivers? Now, Sills, come on. Terrible take, dense guy.
What team is trying to get 2 1s?
What do you mean the Bengals just
Like
depleted their
fucking
defense?
who?
The Bengals just depleted. They can't even sign their rookie because
How
they
many
paid 2
teams are
receivers.
built like the KC Chiefs aren't, the Bills aren't, the Ravens aren't. Nobody's doing that shit. Not doing 2 number 1s.
What about the commies?
The commies have 2 number 1s.
Boy, let me tell you something I was thinking about.
Deebo Samuel wasn't a first-round pick. He was a 2.
Let me tell you something I've been thinking about today. Let me replug in my mic. But let me tell you something I've been thinking about today. Mike, got me on my mic?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
All right. This is something I've been thinking of today. My take on the Washington Commanders is going to be spot on this year. They will regress. They will get 2nd or 3rd in the NFC East. Jaden Daniels will regress slightly. Deebo Samuel will suck. Terry McLaurin will prove to be overrated and not worth the money. And they will not be as good.
And the Eagles will excel even with a new coordinator and all the new faces on defense, correct?
Eagles will be the best team in the NFC.
Okay. Hold on.
Here's Kokorski again. Kyle, I hope you can
make sure
redeem
these
yourself.
fuckers are green, but go ahead.
Kyle, I hope you can redeem yourself, man. You're running out of time. This is becoming embarrassing.
Kyle, you are now the new superhero here.
Princess's takes are Howie drafting defense. Another shit take by Kyle.
Hey, Kyle. Remember this, Kyle. Sidney Brown, Kobe Dean, and who else here? What other third? Tyler Steen. Let's see how this guy's going to be a drafter if those guys don't win jobs.
What are you talking about?
If those guys don't win jobs, those were 3 third-round picks that failed.
4 of our 5 offensive linemen weren't taken in the first round either. 2 seconds, a third.
Those third-round picks do not
And a
pan
7th.
out. What are you doing?
Mike Evans is tied with Jerry Rice Sills with 11 1,000-yard seasons.
He's a longevity guy. He's a
Yeah,
great
steady
player.
Eddie, baby. Steady Eddie.
Yep, absolutely.
Prince, Kyle, you an old man out here blowing hot air at another old man. Chill out, Diddy. Go sit in the corner and watch Sills.
Prince, you know what you remind me of, Prince? You remind me of a sad day.
Oh, come on. That's a great take. Come on,
Hey,
man. That's a Football Friday banger right there.
You are like a sad bidet. That's what you are, dog.
No, man. All right, Sills.
I can't wait. Hey, man. By the way, let's do one more here. Then we're going to get Jason Cole.
Oh, here we go. Fly Eagle says, teams are trying to get 2 number 1 wide receivers because Quinion can't cover 2 wide receivers at the same time, and they're going to throw at Ringo.
Right. That's what everybody's doing.
That's a little legal optimism there, but
trying to get 2 number 1s. Now, what they're trying to get is a number 1 quarterback. If you have a number 1 quarterback, you're not trying to get 2 1s. Okay? All them guys that are top quarterbacks.
Yeah, but they're not winning. Outside of Mahomes,
2 number 1s.
But outside of winning, none of them are like outside of Mahomes, none of them are really winning, recently.
They've got to do better as an organization for sure.
Yeah. So the Bills, the Ravens, teams that you brought up need to do better at building their team.
Absolutely.
Maybe take a page out of the Eagles' book.
Yeah, they need to do a better job at building a team around a guy, that doesn't have to be, as John McMullen says, a lead every day.
All right, Sileo. I'm done with you today. All right, brother. Thank you, man. I'll catch you. Have a great Father's Day, man. Happy Father's Day to you. You're an awesome father. I know because your daughter loves you very much, and it's very evident. So awesome job by you, and happy Father's Day, man.
Thank you, dude, very much.
Absolutely, bro. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you all.
Very cool. Thank you very much. I told John Morgan this. Honestly, I probably haven't told you guys this. I have a couple rules that I live by. I'm a man of faith, God. I've got to be a great dad. I've got to be a good husband. I try my hardest at that. And I live to make sure that I strive to being great at everything I do. Those are the things that I do and that I try every day. And I don't succeed every day, obviously, but I try to do that every single day. I mean, my testament's my kid and how I'm perceived by others sometimes. My business makes it hard because people go, that Sileo guy. And that's why when you get a guy like Jason Cole in here, who I've known for over 30 years, okay, and he and I go back a long way. Now, I'm going to say something. I want to set this up with Jason here. I talked this morning, and I was talking with Mike Evans, and they were talking about Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is the greatest offensive weapon I have ever seen in pro football, not quarterback. He is guy touched the ball 4 times a game, had 200 touchdowns, over 20,000 reception yards, counting postseason. There's nobody near him, okay? And he and Mike Evans, they have a record